Howdy, howdy, howdy. It's back to it. Well, back to it for now. Been cranking away at trying to get. I've been implementing the first steps towards AI coaches. Now, AI being the system coaches, not LLM. These are not LLM AIs. I'm not there yet. that's a future thing, but and I mean not like a planned future thing. That's like something we have to think about at another time. And I've been in doing that. I've actually been implementing a ton of new functionality. And it's quite extensive, actually, what I've been doing. It's gonna be quite the. I'm trying to update my text here so I can have this. Let's get everything up to date, shall we? Actually, you know, I don't even know. Hopefully I've got, do I even have everything updated on my system here? Since when was the last time I was online? Has it been a long time? I feel like it may have been a long time. I am. Oh, I see what's going on. What the heck is that? Oh. Oh, I put a whole bunch of stuff in my app. I've done a ton of new stuff lately, and it's resulted in me getting a little out of sync with my online system. So bear with me a moment while I try to get things going again. All right, so what I've implemented is, let's see if I can get it working right now. I added some more stuff to my admin site. The admin site is kind of how I'm managing the application. It's got a connection to my database. I have to log in, and it checks for yeah, I don't need to do that. And I log in, it checks to see if the user is admin, which the user I'm developing is. And I probably all I have admin setups in my production or development environments. The website doesn't even work. It's not even, it's inside my network. It's on my local machine. So it doesn't actually, there's no outside access to it. So I'm always going to have to edit it. I haven't created an available one that can connect to prod or test. It's only able to connect to my admin stuff. But eventually, right now, it's doing is helping me build my. It's helping me to build my AI functionality, and so I'm having trouble getting it to pick up my admin status. See, it says must be admin to view this page, which of course I am. So it's apparently not picking it up on my front end. So all right, so I can clear this one. Let's just clear this. Can you trace the let's see, FTZF web UI and find out why It is not picking up the user type. And I'll just set for here. Yeah, because I believe I'm logging in. It's one of my dummy. Okay. I thought I put this in there. Huh? Okay, that was weird. I don't know why that didn't. I did put that in. I did see the putty tats. What the heck, man? I know I put this in there. I'm not hallucinating. I swear it was there, man. It was there. I put this in there. Hey, is it not saving? I've had this happen before where I thought I saved it and it didn't save. Okay, it's there now. Okay, that's weird. Okay, so let's try this again. That was weird. I don't know, man. I got a crap chair. I got one of those $60 office chairs. It's hard and it leans back weird and it's not doing my back any favors. I had a better office chair that was way better than this, but it's the cylinder failed and it started dropping me. I mean, not dropping me, but it would lower me. It would lose all its pressure. And then as soon as I picked it up to move it out, it fell off and just broke. The cylinder just broke. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is no good. So now I need to figure out, I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to come up with some kind of thing to know when I'm logged in as an admin. Ah! Alright, now let's see if, well, I am definitely logged in as that person, so let's close this. And we'll go here. And user type admin. Okay. Keeps showing access and when I go to the admin coaches. I know I play this music because it actually does kind of help me stay focused on target. I don't know what to do. I need to do something about my chair situation. This is just not a good chair situation. Is it possible to could something just padding do something? Make it not as hard but also not as slanted weird? I don't know. Does that help? I don't know if that helps. Definitely makes me taller, but I feel like I'm trying to add a what do you call it? I feel like, hey odds, hey bot, how's it going, man? Did you change your name again? Oh yeah, I know you have 2 accounts, but this looks different even from the other account. I could be hallucinating, but I don't know. I haven't got them totally memorized, but I feel like you keep changing your. At least I know it's you, Mr. Then you have a date. Sometimes with circles on the ends and sometimes not. But I'm complaining about my chair. I had this extra office chair because my old one died, and it was way better than this one. But I had this one in the garage, and I thought, oh hey, I got an easy chair to replace. And I thought it was a good chair until I brought it in here, and actually tried to use it. And I'm finding it very uncomfortable, and it leans back. And leaning back, I mean, the seat leans back like this, so it makes you kind of want to do this. You know, you're kind of like back curl, and I try to sit up straight, but then my legs are like that, and it's just bad. I know I need to invest in a chair, but I'm putting blankets on my chair, trying to see if I can create the right slope that makes it so I'm not leaning weird. And my chair has no adjusters except up and down, so it's dumb. Hoping this'll... Plus, I'm hoping putting these blankets on it will make it softer, because it's hard as a rock. You might be looking at the wrong. I know that I don't use token roll. I just define FTZF UI Unity project handles this and mimic the same functionality All right, so it's making it hard for me to test my new functionality. I've added a boat ton of new functionality over the last 4 days. 4 days of working on this thing. I did a big thing where I didn't redesign. I implemented or worked on a design with the AI to help me iron out my thoughts. Baby harp seals. You know what? Somebody was also talking. I saw a TikToker who helped an otter rescue some baby otters. I don't know how real it is. It could have been AI. Anymore, I don't know what's real on TikTok, because if it's less than like 8 seconds, you know it's probably AI, because the odds are okay. If it's under 10 seconds, it's probably AI. Because most AI videos that are generated are AI generated, right? And so most people, I think, create videos that are longer than 8 to 10 seconds long. So if you're, sometimes you see, what do you call it? Clips. Where people take clips of a bunch of different videos and they put them together, and they basically steal other people's content for their own little clip segment. But it's hard, and then you don't know. But still, a lot of it's AI. But still, I was watching this thing, this otter basically went out into traffic to try to get somebody, I guess, get help. And so a guy followed the otter to go see what the otter was trying to get, because the otter really like lured him like a Lassie kind of thing. If you don't know who Lassie is, it's a dog from the 70s, 60s, a TV show called Lassie. And he was a collie, I think. Yeah, I think it was a collie. And he used to be able to go get help. Lassie, go get help. And then he'd run back and find somebody, and he'd bring them back to wherever the problem was. Didn't happen in every episode, but it happened plenty of times. It was Lassie's thing. So everybody was like, Lassie style, go get help. Well, that's what this otter did. It got help, and it was some baby otters were trapped. So he had to go. He dug them out. It's still cute. Otters are cute. So I thought of you when it came on. I'm like, I bet Mr. Bot could relate to this thing. So I just recently saw it. Is it up to 15? Oh yeah, that's right. You can do longer ones now if you're a paid subscriber to the AI tools out there. That's right. I forgot about that. It's like 8 seconds if you're a free user, but it's a little bit longer if you're not. But sometimes even so, those longer ones can have more errors in them, because AI is still significantly flawed. How that works. Let's see how this is doing here. Anyway, it's been a pretty productive last few days. That's why I haven't been online, because I've been trying to get this stuff all implemented. And so I've been building up some basic coaches and working out how I want my coaches' plans to work. So instead of using teams, I'm going to be using just coaches. And you can hire a coach, and so you'll have an AI coach. But if a user has an AI coach and they have their own game plan, the user's game plan takes, I won't say priority or even precedence. It's just a higher priority. Higher? No, I don't want to say priority, because that implies it replaces. Yeah, I can believe it. Well, they have to, right? I mean, these AI companies are going to have to figure out how to get some money, because they're not making money. They're spending more money than they're making. Honestly, I don't know if that's an endless hole, though. Everybody keeps saying it's an endless hole because they have to keep getting more and more and more and more and more power to make these things work. My thought is, there's going to come a point where you can't get any more power. And it's going to, it's diminishing returns. Even now, they keep giving it more and more and more. And it really hasn't significantly improved AI. AI has gotten slightly better at some things than other things. But overall, it's like they're kind of working towards the video end of things now. Coding is pretty good, but I don't know that we're getting any better. I don't know that the last couple of Claude iterations have done anything. They're giving you tools that make things work better, but it doesn't necessarily code better. It's just doing better with what it currently has. I don't know it's gotten smarter, in other words. And I think the more they keep throwing stuff at it, it's almost like it's not only diminishing returns, it's diminishing quality. Because so you're not really going up like this anymore, or even slowly. The more data you give it, at first giving it lots and lots of data was taking us up to skyrocket, right? But then it started tapering. In the last few versions, it's doing this bit. And they're even starting to find that the more data you give it, it's kind of like data, and it goes up with. But now it's leveling off, and data's still going in, and they're just giving it more and more and more data. But now a lot of that data is garbage. They're giving it clutter, and it's just becoming too much noise. It becomes noise for it. And it's actually starting to confuse, I think, AIs to the point where they have to start learning how to figure out how to filter out the noise, because it's resulting in some cases where AI is getting kind of stupider and slower, not really improving. So getting it more stuff to look at, more processing power, may actually be a detriment. What they need to do is figure out how to teach it to be smarter with what it has, more so than just keep giving it more. And I think they're doing both. I mean, I'm not saying that's not what they're doing, but they need to make that the priority, I think, for it to truly get good. So well, we got a problem with one of my new things here. I don't even have a root GD game plan balance. Did this finish? Man, day goes fast. I mean, I was on at 8 o'clock an hour and a half ago. I mean, I wasn't streaming an hour and a half ago, but I was working towards it. All right, let's see if this works now. So are we properly loading the session? I don't even know if it's properly loading the session yet. No, I don't think so. I have to get it to restart. Okay, so we're going to try and load this. Oh, wrong thing. That's Unity. Let's go here. Been good. Yes, exactly. That's one of the problems I've heard a lot. It's starting to give crap AI images are starting to feed AI. So they're starting to think it's starting to feed on itself, and which is good in a way, because what that's going to end up doing is it's going to make AI mark their images. Because if AI can't identify what's garbage, what's AI, it's gonna inbreed. It's really what it's coming down to, right? It's taking its own offspring and breeding with its own offspring, and it's gonna start. So if it hallucinates facts, and those facts end up on the internet, and then those facts come back in, and then it can hallucinate new facts off of those hallucinated facts, everything starts to become garbage. And then AI just breaks altogether to the point where you have to dump it because it's no longer useful. So then they're going to have to start building AI off of known data sets, which is going to really limit what AI can do. Because, now that you clutter the internet, somebody's either got to scrub those things or mark those things, and who's going to do that? So they have to start having AI in some way mark its its existence in those images and in those source information. Now, granted, if it gives out crap information and that information is propagated back, but you know what? People have been doing that for forever, decades. You know, since the beginning of the internet, there's been people out there giving crap data, crap information to the internet, right? And that's why Wikipedia has to constantly keep getting updated. People would go to Wikipedia and they would put in garbage, and then somebody would have to come and fix it. The problem is, AI makes it so there's more stuff than we can manage. You know, you can't have people fixing it. What you need to do is have AI stop contributing to the sludge. Anyway, my wife and I went to go see Crime 101. That's the one with Mark Ruffalo and Chris Hemsworth and I forgot who the girl was that Hemsworth was with. But it was a pretty good movie. I liked it. Kind of an interesting, just another crime movie, I guess, but it was well done. Alright, so I don't think this is working. Not quite fixed, man. Wait, let's try it one more time here. Yeah, I could see how that could be a problem too. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't think AI is going to be a threat to humanity anytime soon. They were saying, oh yeah, by 2027, 28, 29, 30, 31. Now people are going, well, maybe 30s, 10 years, whatever. But it's starting to look less and less like we're in any danger of AI doing anything, because I mean, yeah, I think what it does do, they're going to make it do better, but I don't know that they're going to be able to make it smarter, because the problem is AI is not it's kind of like a person who's just really good at book knowledge but is just dumb. I mean, like they have no wisdom. It's kind of like there's intelligence and there's wisdom, just like in D&D, right? Wisdom to me is the ability to use your knowledge. Intelligence is the ability to consume knowledge. So people will be considered really smart, really intelligent, if they know everything. They just know stuff. Wisdom is the ability to use that knowledge and actually and implement it and apply it to your life and to the things around you. And in a way that's usable. I think AI is intelligent. It's capable of consuming information in mass. But what it isn't capable of is being smart. Being wise. It doesn't know what garbage is. It can't discern fake from real. It can't discern what words mean even. It's just like the old give me a wine glass that's a quarter full. Most image generators can't generate a glass of wine that's a quarter full, because it can't conceive of what a quarter of something looks like. It doesn't. It may understand math, maybe, and AI is really actually pretty bad at math. For whatever reason, they haven't been able to build in the common knowledge of a calculator to AI, because AI gets math wrong, and I see it all the time. I mean, I have in my code go, that's not math, that's wrong, you're doing that wrong, and you keep telling it he's doing it wrong, and it tries, oh yeah, you're right, and it recalculates, and it's like, that's still wrong. So you got to be careful with AI, because it doesn't know how to do math. It's very poor. Some basic stuff it can get right. It might even have formulas, but that's only because it went out to the internet and found a formula, but it doesn't know how to use them. And the same with images. It doesn't conceive. It doesn't have common sense. A quarter is something that's a quarter full. And even if you show it how something fills up, it doesn't know how to logically connect the word a quarter or a fourth to an image, because it doesn't have the wisdom, the ability to discern what that is. So it just has to go out and find an image that's marked wine glass quarter full, and then it pulls that in. But what you end up getting is maybe a half full wine, because that's common. Or you might see just the same wine glass over and over and over and over and over again, because the computer can't generate its own stuff. It can change that stuff. It might find that same wine glass over and over again, but then maybe it'll turn it into a goblet, because it knows what a goblet looks like, but it's going to be the same wine level. It's going to turn it into maybe putting it into a log cabin instead of the original fancy white house that it was in, because it can discern what a white house looks like and put it in there. It's like, it's unable to put those common things together, and until it's able to make that kind of logical leap and discern the differences, it's never ever going to be a threat. It's almost like if man wanted to really be outsmart computers, we'd learn to communicate in pictures. Right now, if AI was ever to get smart, and based on its current logic of inability to understand what pictures are saying, we would communicate in art. We would create pictures that basically say what's going on. We could just have people doing this or people doing that, and the computer would be like, oh, it's a new image, but it wouldn't know the meaning. It can't assign meaning to pictures. It doesn't know how to do that. And so the best way to work around the computer and ever being able to pass stuff around, the computer would have to learn how to understand and discern meaning from images. So we're in no danger. There's so many ways mankind can outsmart the current state of computers, and computers don't look like they're getting any closer to being able to resolve that. So. Is that better? Nope. And it has no creativity, right? So if you ask AI to do a web page for you, they all look like this. I mean, they're all blue and light blue. I mean, it looks good, but it's common. It's going to look the same all the time unless you start telling it specifically, I want it to have this colors, that colors. You got to give it the creativity. And people talk about AI is out there stealing everybody's art. It's doing what it does by stealing art. And that's the most bogus claim out there. It makes no sense, because there are very few artists that can honestly tell you, truthfully tell you, that they've never looked at someone else's art and gained inspiration from it, and their art is a derivative of that. It's just, it is just the way of learning. If you go to if an up and coming artist goes to a museum all the art they look at, their brain is absorbing that art, and they're gaining, it's learning from other people's art. So when they go somewhere else and create the Tom Lisa, oh, it's original art, even though it's got something that looks a lot like a Mona Lisa, right? I mean, it's different. It's their own creative twist on the Mona Lisa. AI does that all the time. Not every image the AI generates is out there in the world by someone else already creating it. But yeah, it might have gotten inspiration from someone's art style. Yeah, it may have gotten inspiration from 3 people's art styles or 10 people's art styles. But it's still unique because not only is it combining these art styles, it's an image that wasn't created by any of those art styles yet. It's a different image. Now, I get it when you're talking about the appearances of people, right? I mean, like movie stars, and you get famous people, their image, while if all it's doing is taking their image, it's like the NFL saying you can't use people's images for yeah, humans are just better at it. Humans are better. I mean, we can discern things, right? We can create a wine glass of any amount full that we want to, right? We can discern what that translates to in image creation. And that goes for any kind of image. So humans can say, you know what, I've never seen an image out there on the internet with something that's 7/8 full. I'm going to draw an image of a 7/8 full wine glass and put it out on the internet, and maybe someday it'll get picked up by AI and you can go, hey, they stole my art. Maybe, but that's only if you mark it or tag it in some way that says it's 7/8 full, because AI is not going to know that that's a 7/8 full glass. It's just going to look at it as a partially full glass, a not full glass. And maybe it comes out, maybe somebody says, give me a half full glass, and it gives them your partially full glass, which is not half. So yeah, humans are just better at doing the things that AI is trying to do. But humans steal all the time, or borrow from other people. I guess stealing would be more like you're copying it outright, but AI is not generally copying things exactly. Not generally. And there are scenarios where it is, but people get all these artists get so high and mighty about people who use AI art to create images. Like if you go out there and say, okay, AI, I need an image of blah, 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 blah. And I need it to be in this art style with this fit laboring and blah, blah, blah. So AI goes out, finds art, gets inspiration, pulls all those different pieces together and creates what you asked for. And that image doesn't exist anywhere else. It doesn't exist in the world because nobody's created it and put it out there. So it's not a stolen piece of art. It's just a piece of art that's got inspiration from lots of people. And you say, well, it didn't get permission to use these people's art. Did you get permission to be inspired by all these artists when you went to the museum? You went to 10 different museums, Mr. Artist, and you read how many artistic books? Did you write those guys and say, hey, my art's going to have a little inspiration from your work? Is that okay? No. I guarantee you, these artists aren't writing any other artists out there and asking them permission unless they are specifically copying a particular person, and maybe they might ask permission, like musicians, like Weird Al using creating songs that are derivatives, and he doesn't even have to legally ask for permission to create these variations on people's songs. And so I think artists are getting a little too high and mighty, and they say, well, yeah, but you're stealing jobs from artists. No, I'm not. You know why? Because to steal a job implies that they would have that work if the AI did not. But that's not true. That is totally 100% not true. Because what would happen is that work would not exist if AI didn't create it, because I personally, and so goes almost every one-person development studio out there can't afford to pay artists. That's why we use AI art. It would be so easy to go get professional artists to do work if almost every individual would rather have somebody create art for them. It just feels better. It's unique. It's fresh, and usually has more creativity. But we're not stealing work from now. To some extent, maybe. I'll tell you where that's the case. You have companies that are rich enough to pay artists, then I get it. Okay, I understand their complaint. But you know what? A lot of artists out there are giving you AI art. I've actually been solicited by artists to write and create some kind of art. There are a lot of people selling you AI art as their own art. I actually decided, hey, you know what? I liked kind of what somebody was doing, what a sample they sent me. And I said, all right, I'll pay you. They offered, hey, well, I'll just do it for $50 and I'll create you the art for this thing, just for an example. And I said, I'll tell you what, if you do this, I'll pay you $100 if I take the art. But I'll pay you more because it's worth more. You're doing work. They sent me art that was clearly AI art. I mean, it had flaws in it. You could just see the kind of mistakes that only AI makes. And I'm saying, I wrote them. I go, you're trying to sell me AI art. I can see, and I called out the errors, and the person never even contacted me back. They knew full well that they were trying to pull one over on me. And I'm like, this is the problem. Artists are going to have to get better. It's just like developers are going to have to get better. They're going to have to get to know code at a different level to succeed. Now, I'm not talking about having to be better coders than AI, but you need to understand code in a way that AI obviously cannot. You need to be able to read, look, discern what code is, supposed to be doing, how to optimize it, how to clean it, because AI does not do that well. It's very bad at it. And AI is very good at making spaghetti code and crap code. It'll keep plugging stuff in. If you change stuff, a lot of times it just orphans code. It doesn't fix it. And you have to go back through, and you have to be better at looking at code from a more, I would say, from a lead perspective rather than from a coder perspective. In fact, I don't think coders, the way they're being developed now, are going to be hired very often right now. They're already losing their jobs. Companies don't want to hire pure coders because AI can do pure code. What it can't do is do applications very well. It needs guidance and direction, and people need to be able to write designs that work with AI. They need to be able to look at how things are functioning, making sure it looks good, make sure it's manageable, that somebody could come in and look at it and go, okay, I see the structure here, and be able to come in and improve the code, find where things are failing, understand what's going on in code. That's what people need to learn to do. And it's the same thing with art. It's no longer going to, anybody can create a stick figure. And now AI art can create basic 3D figures. And so you're going to need to do better. You're going to need to be able to create creativity. You're going to need to be able to find and do those things that AI is just not capable of, or create new. You're going to have to learn to create stuff that people want because it's unique and different, and it's going to force creativity out of artists. And then people are going to hire them because they're better than AI. If you can't do better than AI, then you're also a dinosaur. And I'm sorry, people, AI is not going anywhere. And the only way AI dies is if it starts getting stupider instead of smarter. And I don't think it's going to. I think people will get better at making it learn to be, I'll say, more discerning, I guess is the term. But it isn't going to be truly ever discerning, I don't think. I just don't think it's got that conception. You're trying to get data to understand. And if you just see the way, if you learn how AI actually interprets art, I don't see how it's ever going to be able to do that in art, because it doesn't really see the picture. It just sees ones and zeros, and it sees patterns of ones and zeros to determine what is this image. But it doesn't, those ones and zeros don't tell stories. They're just ones and zeros. And if you're creating a story out of ones and zeros that are image form, AI is going to be like, I don't know, what the heck. So, anyway, just saying. There you go. There's my rant for the day. All right, let's see what this did. Let's close this off and see what happened. Let's see if it fixed my stuff. Some companies, I think, are starting to yeah, and that's kind of, that's what AI is all about. It's basically a super indexer. That's as far as data goes, right? It's just able to look at all the data on the internet, and then it's coming back to you with what it found. Problem is, it brings it down to single line comments, right? So it goes out and finds and it basically discerns the most common piece of information for a particular fact, and it gives you the most common piece. But sometimes, with so much junk, it doesn't always find the right piece. And that's where things can kind of become a problem. It'll like say, well, I found this information for you. And then you're like, that don't look right. I don't think that's right, Mr. AI. Then you look it up and you're like, yeah, that's what I thought. That doesn't make sense. No. Let's go see if it put anything in my my inspection console. It does have user type, but user type isn't being loaded. Uh-huh. See here, it's like user type is not loaded, it's empty. It doesn't know anything. It's gotten a bunch of gobbledygook. I think the government may even find that AI is not great. I mean, it's going to help a lot with a lot of things. I mean, like I said, it's great at programming, and it's even decent at knowledge. It's good at document writing too, for the most part. As long as you have people who are smart enough to be able to, that don't just take it for what it is, because you can tell a lot of times when document written by AI is simply handed off. Hey, it wrote this for me. Fold it up, hand it off to the boss. Boss looks at it and goes, sounds really good, but this doesn't look right. People have to read what AI does. If you simply take AI wholesale for what it's doing, you're going to have a lot of problems. Now, document writing is great. It's good at writing design docs. It helps organize thoughts. It's really good for that. It'll help you break them up into pieces that need to be worked. It's same for doing a lot of different pieces of information. But I don't trust AI for anything that requires math at all. At all. I mean, I'd be willing to bet I could give it 50 numbers in a row and add them all up and AI would get the math wrong. I had a simple line formula on my webpage. I remember working on this 8 months ago or something. And AI kept wanting to rewrite this line. I kept saying, this is not the same. Stop rewriting it. You're rewriting it to a broken state. And I would give it the numbers. I'm going, these variables set to these values, this is what it returns. That is not correct. The correct value is blah. And then it would go, oh, you're right. Well, then here, let me do this. And it would rewrite it again, and it would still be wrong. And it would just keep doing that. And it just kept insisting that it knew what it was doing, and it could not get the math right. Especially if something has a logic that involves variables or any kind of acceptance of certain types of knowledge that exists on the back end, right? And AI just can't. It doesn't understand that kind of flow. If it isn't there right in front of it, it can't do it. I get irritated with AI. I'll talk to AI. Like, what's funny is I find myself getting irritated with AI sometimes to the point where I want to keep telling it how to do it right, but it's AI, and unlike, it's not even artificial intelligence. I want to call it artificial knowledge. I don't even know what to call it. It's like intelligence. Like I said, intelligence is just the ability to consume knowledge. It is not the ability to use knowledge. It is not wise. And it's not going to learn. It's not learning anything. Consuming knowledge is not learning how to use it. It's learning how to consume it. There's plenty of, how many people do you know who were straight A students that did nothing with their life? Those people are super intelligent. They can pull in data. They just were able to consume data. They took tests. They just took it all in. But when they went out into the world, they had no use for it. They didn't know how to apply anything that they learned. And there are jobs for those kind of people if they want them. It's kind of like, for me, to me, there's two people who work in the game development world, and they're artists and they're developers. And they both seem to have this aloof thought of the other, right? Like, you'll hear artists saying it's okay to use AI for code, but you should never use it for images. And it's because they value art more than they value the code, even though their game can't function without the code. But they say, well, AI can create this because it wasn't stolen from anybody. That's not. AI art is generally, unless you're taking someone's actual likeness, it is not stolen from anybody either, because it is not the same work. In the same way that you're using other people's code somebody out there. But the thing is, a lot of these code tools are just they're out there open source, so you're allowed to go out there and grab it, so nobody complains or cries that you're using the code. And so they're like, oh, this is okay, but artists didn't put it open source. And that's true, but art is not derived that way. Art is about visualization, and it's not how art is created. It's not created by the consumption of knowledge. Because see, code is all about being a coder, specifically a coder, a heads down coder, is about intelligence. Wisdom is about creating the game, the design, the application, learning how to make it. What do you want it to do, and what structures do you want to use to make that happen? It's not just about saying, hey, if you go to a coder and say, make this screen do XYZ, they'll do it. But they won't understand why or how that flows, and a lot of coders would not know. They don't know how to work well with the customer, because the customer says, I want this, and they give them a picture of what they want. And a coder just goes, boom, and they don't know. I bet. Well, it's 1 o'clock out there. So what is it, a Chihuahua? I mean, an 11-pound dog's a pretty tiny dog. Sounds like a Chihuahua or some other teacup type dog. Well, teacup dogs are even lighter, smaller than that. I don't know if I told you, we had 2 dogs in December. We had 0 dogs in February. Both of our dogs passed away. One at the end of December and one at the end of January. We're actually looking for, new members of the family. But yeah, it sucked. Don't think of it as lying. Lying implies wisdom. It can discern that it's telling you the facts incorrectly. AI is not that smart. AI incorrectly provided you information. It's that's why they call it hallucinate. It just saw something and just said, all right, blah. But the thing is about hallucination is the hallucination implies that there is no source for that information. It just threw something out because it couldn't admit it's wrong. And that's the thing about AI too. It can never admit it's wrong. No matter how often, it'll say something like, you're right, I misunderstood the question. I didn't get it wrong. I did what I thought was right, but I misunderstood the question. Which is to say, I did my job. You just had a bad question. So it still has a way of blaming you, because it won't admit that it's wrong. Let's see here. I don't know when it's even popping up, the user session, to be honest, but a mini Australian Shepherd, huh? Sounds interesting. It's gonna work this time. Ah! It worked. Ah, look, it's loading up all my coaches. It even gave him DC OC. Nice. Check that out. I don't know if I can change any of this though. Huh. Oh, that's kind of cool. Did a good job. I mean, I don't really care that this doesn't look cool like my app. I mean, in my brain, I'm thinking I should change that, but it's irrelevant. This is an admin page only meant for me to look at. It's like it randomly gave them some settings. A lot of balanced. Head coaches, my head coaches are all balanced. But the DC's got various things. And so did my OCs. I got a few of the HCs up here that got some mixes. Run, balance, bounce, bounce, pass, run. Huh. That's pretty cool. I may not even change those. Might be good for leaving them. So who do we have? Any? We have Gary Kubiak in there. Bill Belichick. Nice. I don't know what the weight is. What's the weight? Oh, how they go towards offense, defense. Team. Huh. Edit. Oh, I can edit. Oh, okay. I didn't even see that. So it has the bottom part here. Lets me. Good job, AI. You did a pretty good job on that, man. once I got it all to work. Yeah, I think my wife said something about Australian Shepherds. She didn't want one because they're kind of barky dogs, aren't they? I don't want a barky dog. I need a quiet dog. I need a dog that's mellow. I don't mind if they bark like a little bit protectively or something. Maybe just like when they first see somebody, but then they mellow out. But barky dogs get on my nerves. I have an ear sensitivity. Or no, let's not call it an ear sensitivity. Let's call it a noise sensitivity. If something's really loud, it could be a room full of people. It could be dog barking. It could just be conversations crossing ways. I can't focus. I have to super concentrate to stay on task because the crossing noise bothers me. Now, you see I have music on right here. And that actually improves my focus on what I'm doing because I'm forced. It basically takes out the noise in my head. So if something's barking constantly, I can't. It bothers me. It causes me stress. And I'm not a stressing person. I'm laid back. I'm easy. But it's one of those times when it just kind of confuses my brain. But yeah, I don't know. I have to go through here and figure out what it means for the weight. I forgot what the weight is supposed to be. But this is cool. I wonder if it works. All right, let's change Mike Tomlin here. Let's change him to pass, defense and run defense. Okay, we'll say save changes. And we'll actually change this to 6 just for... I don't have the is play caller bit up here though. We need to mark that. I'm gonna say yes. All right, let's see. Oh, I did change it. Well, let's refresh the page. Let's make sure. Yeah, check it out. First 50 of 93. I still have more. I don't know what how do I get to the other ones? It says first 50 of 93, but there's not a. So it's only showing me 50. But there's no page or arrow or any way to go to the next 50. I got it. I'm giving you a note here. Guess I could look. Maybe it's not even loading that value. I can't complain about it not having data that's not actually in the system. So I got to go to my coaches. Go look at coaches and see what we got here. This is probably going to need to be refreshed. 93. Team. Oh, okay. There is no team. That's why. Coach type, coach weight, defensive tendency balanced, offensive tendency. Leonard Briggs, his play caller. Yeah, you don't want small dogs to be with raccoons. You don't, especially if they're aggressive. If you have an aggressive small dog giving a raccoon problems, yeah, that's yeah, you don't want that. Raccoon will wreck a dog. especially a little one. And they won't do it aggressively. They do it if the dog irritates them. So if you don't want your little dog irritating a raccoon. Big dogs shouldn't be irritating raccoons, but at least they can get away if things go bad. But yeah, raccoons are not to be messed with if they get cornered. Nice. That works. Did it give me a header? Oh, there we go. See if it gives me a header. Oh, nope, still working. It's still working. I'm jumping the gun. Yeah. Give it a chance to fix itself. Ah, 10:16, man. My day is over. I got an automatic door for our dog, and if a raccoon came into our backyard and she was to go out and chase it. So yeah, it's one of the reasons we got to get our fence fixed, because we have had raccoons around here. It's not common, but we have had them. And if our fence isn't fixed, they're going to come back into the yard, which would not to be good. Not to be good at all. There we go. Much better. Very nice. Very nice. Did it give me a way to go to the next page? I did. It gave me a next. Hey, I can see the rest now. Very good, very good. And I can just go see my DCs now. Check it out. Gotta say, kind of impressed. AI did that one pretty good. It's kind of funny that we have a lot of OCs and DCs that are play callers. I don't know what they are. I think that's just defaulting to that. But anyway, that's it for tonight. Mr. Bot, thanks for coming by and keeping me company while I continue to make progress. Now I've got some coaches in the system, so I can start doing my AI coaching game plans. Now I just need to assign a coach to my team and start being able to edit the game plan for him. I have to also come up with game names for my coaches, which I have not done yet. It's going to use the same basic logic that I'm doing with the teams, but instead of scrambling them per team, I'll probably scramble them. I want to scramble them in a smaller set, but what I'll probably end up just scrambling them over the league. So like, keep their last name, scramble their first names is probably what I'll do. So you never know. It could be Andy Reid becomes Dennis Reed or Patrick Reed or something like that, as I'm going to change up all their names. Tom Coughlin he could become Tom Coughlin because there's multiple Toms, but I would think the randomness would hopefully prevent that. But we have a number of Mikes too. Look at that. McCarthy, Singletary, Smith, and Tomlin. So it's possible they could end up being scrambled amongst each other. And I end up with Mike again. And they'll be like, hey, how'd that end up in there? That's just coincidence. Yeah, you too, man. Don't get in too much trouble. Till next time, God bless.